The expression x squared minus 1 raised to the negative 2/3 power is equivalent to which of the following? So in this problem we have a quantity being raised to a power and it's a negative power. So let's recall that in the past when we had something like x raised to the negative 1, that equaled 1 over x. So that's a simple example, but the important thing to remember is that the negative exponent moves that term down into the denominator and the exponent goes from being negative to being positive. And it's the same thing if you have a quantity. So even if we didn't have x, even if we had this x squared minus 1 quantity, it's still the same principle. It moves down into the denominator and its negative exponent becomes a positive exponent. So in this case we can change this to from x squared minus 1 quantity being raised to the negative 2/3 to 1 over x squared minus 1 raised to the positive 2/3, because the negative goes away when you move it down to the denominator. So we can actually eliminate a couple of answer choices just based off that one realization. Choices 1 and 3, they're not 1 over anything, so they wouldn't make any sense. So it's either 2 or 4. And now what does it mean that something's being raised to the 2/3 power? Now again, let's go back to a simpler example. Suppose we just had x to the 2/3. Well, the 2 means that x is being squared, and what's in the bottom of the fraction, the 3, means that that's the root that's being taken. So there's a couple different ways we could write this. We could say this is x squared and you're taking the cube root of it. Or you could do it in the opposite order. You could take the cube root of x first and then square that. So there's no rule about what you have to do first, but you're both squaring it and taking the cube root. So it's the same in this situation here. We're going to rewrite this as 1 over the quantity x squared minus 1, which is being squared, and instead of writing that it's being raised to the 2/3, we'll just take the cube root of that whole denominator. And that looks exactly like answer choice 2.